Please just leave me alone.
As a mom, I want my kids' lives to be filled with joy and possibility. And I want that for every kid. That's why I support No Kid Hungry. They work in schools and communities to make sure every kid gets the healthy meals they need. Please join me in supporting No Kid Hungry for all kids.
Thank you!
Wrong turn? No sweat. With best-in-class fuel economy and 5 drive modes, virtually no road is out of bounds.
Drive the new 2024 Nissan Rogue. Now get a low $329 per month lease on the 2024 Nissan Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy among gas engines.
Sorry, guys, that took me for... What is this?
Well, you know how our T-Mobile home internet can slow down?
Uh-huh.
Turns out, walls can get in the way. So I fixed it.
So instead of getting a Spectrum internet, which is fast and reliable 24/7, you got us internet that can be blocked by walls.
Yes, but I think I fixed it.
By smashing a hole through our wall.
Well, technically, walls. Yeah, I might not want to go in the dining room.
Don't settle for T-Mobile cell phone internet.
Kid's a natural.
This is why I don't leave the house.
Get faster, more reliable internet speeds with Spectrum.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get 6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP on select GMC Sierra models. We are professional grade GMC.
Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Buick. Visit your local tri-state Buick dealers. And by FanDuel. New customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when they place any $5 bet. And by Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile in a brand new Hyundai. Yankees win this one 8-2. We're going to take a look at our Buick drive of the game.
Well, who else in the 4th inning? He gets the green light. 3-0 fastball from McKenzie. Number 3 on the year, his 15th RBI. That's a 3-run homer for Juan Soto.
Well, that was our drive of the game. Now it's time to look at the Cadillac player of the game.
Well, congratulations, Cody Petit. Not being on the mound for a couple of years, 2022 in July. Outstanding stuff. Good fastball. Very efficient with his pitches. 77 pitches, 6 innings, only giving up the 1 run. That homer by Florial did not walk a Guardian. Outstanding job.
Yankees are now 12-3 with the 8-2 victory. We just talked about Cody Petit. Tristan McKenzie takes the loss in a tidy 2 hours and 28 minutes. Juan Soto with a 3-run bomb. And Petit his first major league win since 2021. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Perry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, Jared Bosnick, and our executive producer is Mr. John J. Filippelli. Join us again tomorrow for the series finale in Cleveland. Coverage begins at 12:30 on the Yes Network, with first pitch coming just after 1:30. Once again, the final here in Cleveland. Bombers 8, Guardians 2. For Jeff Nelson and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm John Flaherty. Now we're going to send it to the guys in the studio, Bob Lorenz and Jack Perry, who are standing by very patiently with the postgame show. Guys?
Hey everybody, it's great to have you with us on the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. It's a doubleheader sweep for the Yankees in Cleveland. They win the opener 3-2. They win the nightcap, Jack, 8-2. So 8 runs could certainly be part of your Hyundai opening comment, but I have a feeling it might focus on Cody Petit as well.
I think very few people expected me to utter these words 15 games into the season. Tonight was the Cody Petit show. There are probably a lot of Yankee fans who are unfamiliar with Petit, who signed a minor league contract with the Yankees in January, working his way back to the major leagues, and he deserves a ton of credit for the way he pitched tonight. 6 one-run innings, and he pitched, Bob. I want to emphasize that word. Fastball, sinker, changeup. He got ground outs. He struck out 4. He didn't walk anyone, and he went out there in such a composed fashion. And as I was watching him tonight, it reminded me of this. Every spring training, a manager will tell to his players, it's not just going to be the 26 of you that start the season. We're going to need a lot of other people in this room to contribute. I'm sure Cody Petit was there when Aaron Boone said something like that. And a couple of weeks into the season, he contributes, and he contributes in a massive way. His first Major League win in 1,056 days.
Amazing. And the offense backs him up. Let's take you through all the highlights presented by your local Ford stores of the nightcap. We'll start top of the first. And the other theme was something going against Tristan McKenzie, the starter tonight. This is Aaron Judge at the plate. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Grounds 1 to third. They get the one out, or Jack, do they at second?
Yeah, Jimenez is a terrific defensive player, but he did not have his foot on the base, so they did not get the out at second. So the Yankees have the bases loaded, and when McKenzie flips this curveball up there, Rizzo lashes it into center field. Volpe scores. Yankees up 1-0.
And they would continue bases loaded later in the first. Giancarlo Stanton with a walk. So again, the great at bats. Soto scores, makes it 2-0. That's all they got, though, in that first inning, but they would continue to score in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, runners on first and third for Volpe, who's having a terrific season. He gets that fastball at 90 miles an hour, drives it into center field. Torres scores, Verdugo to second. It's 3-0 Yankees.
And then, of course, the biggest blow of the inning came later in the frame when Juan Soto stepped up.
Yeah, McKenzie didn't have any life on his fastball. So now it's a 3-0 count, first and second. You try to challenge Juan Soto with that fastball, and he is going to crush it to center field. 3-run homer is Soto's third of the year. It's his first career homer ever at Progressive. The Yankees are rolling 6-0.
And then Oswaldo Cabrera contributes to the damage. Top of the fifth, hits a double to right field. He had a big 2-run home run in the opener. Cabrera just continues to hit as Glaber scores to give the Yanks a 7-0 lead. And, of course, they go on to win it by a final count of 8-2. You take a look at the Yankees box score. Only Giancarlo Stanton, who, by the way, still got an RBI because of the walk, was held without a hit, as well as Austin Wells. But he is well produced with a sacrifice fly. So a lot of offense, a lot of Cody Petit. And now we're going to give you Juan Soto on the field with Meredith Marakovitz.
Juan, this team made Tristan McKenzie work tonight. How were you able to get to him in that fourth inning?
I mean, since the first batter, we really grind every at-bat. We take good chances today. We take our pitches. We take walks. We put it in the ropes in the first inning. I think we did a great job as a team, and that's what it takes us to take him out of the game early.
How much of an influence do you feel like you've had on this offense as a whole?
I don't know. I've just tried to do my job. Literally, I'm here just to get on and let Judge do his thing. You know, whenever I can do damage, I'm going to try to do it, but it's a whole team work. We got to do it little by little. We got to do it as a team.
A long day of baseball, but a good day of baseball. You sweep the doubleheader. Now the 5th series win to start the season. In your mind, how has this team been able to gel so quickly?
It's just the way we handle those things. I think right here we have a great energy. It's a great vibe, and I feel like everybody wants to do the same thing, that is a winner championships. So I think that make it easier for us.
Cody Petit was making his first start on a big league mound since 2022. How impressed were you by him tonight?
It was great for him, great. I mean, I'm more than happy to play behind him. He was pounding the strike zone, putting guys to get ground balls and everything. I mean, that's really, really exciting to see from a guy like that, and making his way back since 2022. I think that's even better.
Juan, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Send it back to you.
All right, Meredith, thank you. And that's saying something when you have Juan Soto, who produces a 3-run home run, is one of the preeminent hitters in the majors, Jack. And he's talking about the guy he's playing behind and how happy he is to see him doing what he was doing.
The Yankee offense right now, Bob, is menacing. 8 of the 9 starters either had a hit or a walk. Austin Wells is the only one who didn't, and he had a sacrifice fly. Judge and Torres are both hitting around 200, so they haven't gotten untracked yet. The Yankees are 12-3. They don't have their ace in Garrett Cole. He's on the IL. They lost Loaizaga, one of their best relievers for the entire season, and they are rampaging over teams. Tonight, what stood out for me was one of the things Soto talked about offensively. They took their walks. They walked 8 times. They only struck out 4 times. And if you look at both of their early rallies, they started with walks. Soto's 3-run homer came after that inning, started with a couple of walks. So they're smart hitters, they're savvy hitters, and they're hitters who, if you throw strikes, they're going to punish you. But if you don't, they're going to take the walk and let the next guy do the damage.
And to your point about him being menacing, in both games of today's doubleheader, the top 3 hitters had 5 at-bats. So they're flipping the lineup over and over. And those are the guys you want coming up right now. Volpe, Soto, and then Judge with a shot to do some damage as well.
Volpe looks awful comfortable in the leadoff spot. And this guy said 2 games ago, leave him in the number 6 spot. So I'm sure Aaron Boone is just going to continue to run him out there. One other thing, Bob, one other theme, both starting pitchers for the Guardians, the Yankees got that pitch count up. You look at McKenzie today, over 80 pitches in 4 innings, and the Yankees were tattooing him. He didn't have any life on anything that could get them out. They did the same thing Carrasco in the first game, making him work.
As for the pitching, as we throw the spotlight back on Cody Poteet, our pitching decisions presented by Sage. And on the pregame, you said, keep an eye out for the changeup. It's a great go-to pitch, but clearly he had everything dialed in tonight.
Yeah, he had a mixture of pitches working, starting out getting Florial. He went upstairs with that 95 on the velocity. He flashed a little more velocity than we had expected. He gets Arias on a 4-seamer in the 3rd. Here's Ramirez, a really talented hitter. Gets him to ground out and get the out at second base. He used his sinker for that. The next batter is Naylor. That's a changeup, and this is a pitcher's best friend. Little double play right there. The next inning, it's Fry at the plate, and Bobby's going to go sweeper here. And how about that pitch? He gets Fry staring at it. In the 5th inning, Rocchio at the plate, and you're going to see Poteet receive the ball from Rizzo for the 3-1 putout, and then he strikes out Laureano on another sweeper. He pitched tonight. He's a guy who's not going to go out there and throw 98 or 99 and just blow fastballs past you. We see right there 5 different pitches tonight. The curveball actually did get hit 3 for 3. That's what he gave up the home run on. But I was thoroughly impressed with a guy who had not been on a major league mound in a game that mattered. He'd obviously pitched in spring training. But to go out there with the precision that he showed and the moxie that he showed and the arsenal that he had, he confused the Guardians tonight and made sure they weren't going to do any damage.
One big comparison, if you just looked at the box scores, Poteet, no walks, Tristan McKenzie, 6. So McKenzie was getting himself into all kinds of trouble. So the byproduct of what Poteet did is, A, stay by the phone because you might get a call back up, and B, what he did to set up the bullpen for the coming days ahead. They play 4 straight days.
Right, and also saved Luis Gil from having to have a relief outing tonight, so he will probably stay in rotation in the next series against the Blue Jays. But you're absolutely right, Bob. Aaron Boone used his high-leverage guys in Hamilton and Holmes in the first game, and then didn't really have to worry about the bullpen in Game 2 because of the job that Poteet did. And I love what you said about stay near the phone because he was the 27th man. You get a 27th roster spot when you play a doubleheader. That's what Poteet was for the Yankees today. We will see him again. He impressed enough that the Yankees will make sure when they have an opening, this is an arm you want at the major league level.
We're going to take our first break here on the WB Mason postgame. A lot more coming up. Alex Verdugo, he can go pick it, and he did with a great defensive play tonight. So many good things happening in this nightcap as the Yankees win it 8-2. Stick around. We will hear from manager Aaron Boone coming up next.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Stop paying high freight charges on shipping and packaging products. WB Mason delivers fast and free at amazingly low prices.
At KFC, grab 2 pieces of hot, juicy chicken, a side of mashed potatoes and gravy, and a biscuit for just $4.99.
Son of a bucket, that's a good deal.
New taste of KFC deals. Only at KFC.
Shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Dear Triathlon, let's splash through rushing rivers, take on iconic trails, and race straight to the top. What's the point of winning if you can't kick back and enjoy the view? Yours, Toyota SUVs.
Lease an all-wheel drive RAV4 for just $329 a month. Or lease an all-wheel drive Highlander for $439 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
You Jimmy's John still waking up early, slicing veggies and meats by hand?
Pathetic.
Only details that matter are green, real dough, not that fresh baked stuff.
It is good bread.
Get that away from my money.
Fresh baked bread at Jimmy John's.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Yankees win 2 ball games in Cleveland today, so they've already won the series. Most consecutive series wins to start the season. This is tied with their best. Happened 2 other times in 1926 and 2010. They're also 12-3 to begin the season, tied for the seventh best start, or the best start in Yankees history. Excuse me, 7th time that has happened, first since 2003. The post-game conversation with Aaron Boone begins on Cody Poteet in the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, before the game, you said you felt like Cody Poteet earned this opportunity, but could you have asked for much more from him tonight?
No, you know, he only had 80 pitches, so to go 6, you know, obviously in the second game of a doubleheader, huge outing. You know, he pitched. You know, that's what we know we got, and I thought he did a great job mixing 2-seam and 4-seam, and then with the changeup and the secondary stuff to get off the barrel. So just, yeah, really strong effort by him.
First time on a big league mound since 2022, coming back from the injury. Just what do you think tonight meant to him?
I'm sure it meant a lot. You know, and anyone that's been through injuries that take you out for a long period of time and miss seasons and things like that, there's a lot that goes into getting you back to this level and to perform like that. And so I'm sure today was very, very gratifying for him, and just he pitched great.
Aaron, how much do you think you guys putting a couple on the board in the first inning maybe, you know, helped settle in?
You know, tough to say. You always want to do that, and you always think that's settling. So I'm sure it didn't hurt. And then obviously, you know, adding the big inning, and he kind of took it from there. So may have played a role in helping him settle in, but you know, he was pretty sharp there in the first, second, and you know, pretty pitch efficient too.
Managers talk about how difficult it is, regardless of the opponent, to sweep a doubleheader. Just what about that accomplishment today?
It is. I mean, just because it's, you know, gets complicated, or it can get complicated in the bullpen, and you know, you use certain guys to close out a victory that you're not going to have the next game, and you know, and you say regardless of opponent, we're talking about a team that's really hot here early in the season that we're playing too. So yeah, not an easy thing to do. You know, especially when you spend the whole day here and the split doubleheader and everything, to walk out of here with 2 is definitely nice, with an opportunity to have a great weekend tomorrow.
Is that kind of in line what you saw from Poteet this spring, or is this even better?
Yeah, I think he had a couple outings where it was where it was like, ooh, like we knew right away, like, he can help us and he's going to play a role for us. You know, he had a couple outings too where he struggled. He struggled, I think, his last outing of spring. But, you know, part of that is also, you know, getting back at it and having your first spring training where you're competing again and building up. But I think we all felt like when we got him over the offseason that he was going to be a guy that could play a role for us, and he sure looked the part tonight.
Juan Soto's 25, but is now homered in 26 of 30 MLB parks. What does that just say about his talent to be so good so young?
I mean, he's great. He's a great player. So anytime you throw things like that out there at a very young age. When you're the caliber player that Juan is, it's not surprising. I'm sure before long it'll be 30 out of 30.
Aaron, all the substitutions late a result of the score.
Just getting them out, yeah.
You guys lead the league in walks. I think also pitches per plate appearance.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you attribute that to?
Outstanding approach, guys locked in, guys taking a lot of pride in, as we talked about, hittings. It's not always results every night, and you're going to take your lumps sometimes, and a pitcher will have his way, but they're taking so much pride in individually going up there and making it a battle every at bat. However it ends, I'm going up there to make this pitcher earn it. And I would say that's been the best thing in the first couple of weeks of the season offensively is, regardless of whether we get results or breakthrough or whatever, I feel like the opposing pitching staff has felt like they've had to earn it, and that's a good place to be.
Well, Jack, you called the Yankees offense menacing. I think Boone just said that. He just said it a little differently, right?
Yeah, he talked about every at-bat being a battle. And, Bob, he has said that consistently throughout the season. And it's an approach that the Yankees came into 2024 trying to make sure that they were going to employ. Obviously, you go into every at-bat wanting to have a positive result, whether it's a hit or a walk, just getting on base somehow. But what Boone consistently talks about is making sure that in the process of trying to make that happen, you make that pitcher work. So even if you end up lining out to shortstop or hitting a fly ball that gets caught in the gap, you've let that pitcher know that you were on top of pitches and that you weren't straying out of the strike zone, so that even when you make an out, it's been a chore for that pitcher. And we mentioned it earlier in the show. You could see both Carrasco and McKenzie today out of the game early because their pitch counts got so high.
And one example of that, I think, is when Giancarlo Stanton drew the bases-loaded walk. There's a guy that could do damage or, in the past, has swung at an awful pitch, potentially. He's not doing that right now. It was a great at-bat, and it cost the Guardians.
When that walk occurred, I turned to you in your office, and I said, Stanton doesn't have that at-bat last year. He probably would have chased one of those other pitches. He wouldn't have had such a productive at-bat, but he knows the lineup that he's in right now. He knows that in that situation, you've got to make McKenzie throw strikes. He happily took the walk. It produced another run for the Yankees. And if the Yankees can sustain this with their offense, they are going to be menacing. There are going to be a lot of teams that are preparing for this offense, and you have to pick your poison. If you don't throw strikes, you're going to end up walking some of them. You get guys on base, and that's a recipe for trouble for the opposition.
We're going to take another break. We've got more menacing stuff coming up in the form of Juan Soto. 3-run home run tonight, doing a lot of damage in this doubleheader and a sweep. Yankees with a nightcap 8-2. Stick around for more Soto.
5 minutes, fellas. 5 minutes.
I appreciate it, man. Oh, okay. You getting that bet in before the boom, huh?
Yeah, LA all the way.
What? Oh, come on, man. You know it's Boston, baby. Stop it.
KG, I understand why you said it, but it's LA.
Jay, are you serious?
You know what? It's LA.
Why are you standing up?
Because I got to stretch on out. Because it's LA. You know what? You ain't scaring me. Let me tell you something. That ain't enough.
Boston, Boston, Boston.
It's LA.
I love it when people say that something's impossible. I see that as a challenge.
The Honda you want is here. Get a great offer on the stylish HR-V or the Civic, which Car and Driver called fun to drive. There's never been a better time to drive in the moment with Honda. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.